Now, more than 100 firefighters and management from the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment are returning from Canada, where they've battled out fires since August. SABC News reporter Nozintombi Miya is at the OR Tambo International Airport.
We are here at the Garden Court Hotel at the OR Tambo, where multiple people will be welcoming the more than 100 firefighters that risked their lives in Canada to assist with the forest firefighting attempts in that country. So this is obviously a welcome for these more than 100 firefighters as well as executive staff. The mood is exceptionally high and they've done absolutely well in representing South Africa. And joining me to talk to me a bit more about this is Ms. Nozintombi Miya, and she's the DDG at the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment. Thank you so much, Ms. Miya. Just tell me a little bit more about why you initiated this program where you had these firefighters assisting with the forest fire issues in Canada.
Good morning, Nozen. Good morning to the viewers. I'm very happy to be here today to basically welcome our firefighters who went as part of the Working on Fire program, a government-funded initiative that creates jobs and in a way that protects our biodiversity, so within the context of fighting field and forest fires. So within the context of the bilateral relationship between us, South Africa, and Canada, we heeded the call of our Canada for us to basically send our capacity, our well-recognized capacity to assist them as they fought, the unfortunate incidences in terms of the wildfires they were facing. Since August. We sent our firefighters in August last month.
All right, thank you. That's lovely. So, it's lovely that more than 100 firefighters have gone to Canada to assist. It's a great representation for South Africa. However, we do know that a couple of years ago, we had a similar program. This program has been going on for a couple of years. But we do know the incident in 2016 where we saw scenes of firefighters protesting and really impinging on the reputation of South Africa and South African service workers overseas. Just talk to me about a little bit more about that issue and how you've managed to overcome that issue and put systems in place to ensure that such a scene or such an incident doesn't occur again.
That was an unfortunate incident, but I'm happy to say that it was addressed, and that's why we're able to hit the call this time around and send firefighters to Canada, and we didn't have any incidences. The issues that were highlighted at that point were around wage disputes and allowances, and we learned from that as a country, engaged with our firefighters, and we've made sure that this time around and going forward, even in the future, when we had that call, we would not have what happened earlier. And so it has been addressed.
And reputation is so important. The firefighters had to, obviously these firefighters and subsequent to the 2016 issues would have had to ensure that they go in and they show their best and they show that they have some level of discipline.
Yes, we are very proud of this capacity, and for a bilateral partner like Canada itself, for them to have recognized and made the call for us to basically assist, it says something about our country, our capacity in terms of field and forest fire management. We are very proud of our firefighters. They have the discipline and the high-level training that allows them to work in any situation. So beyond Canada, we'll be able, within the context of bilateral arrangements between South Africa and other countries. So, we have the standard because, we are sure that, over and above that relationship, the fact that we have the capacity, we have the discipline, and we have the training, they would not have called on us without those. So we're very proud.
So today you will be welcoming them back. They landed in OR Tambo at 7 o'clock in the morning. Have you had a chance to speak to them, just to sort of gauge their mood? They must be excited to be back home.
Yes, it's since 10th of August. They left South Africa on the 10th. And I'm sure that, they are excited to come back, and we'll be engaging with some of them later today. And also part of the ceremony is recognizing those that did exceptionally well, made our country very proud in terms of how they serviced and provided the service that they'd gone to Canada for. So I've spoken to the one of the senior managers that is with them, and the mood is good. They're excited to be back home, and we're very excited to have them back.
All right, Nozintombi Miya, the DDG for the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment, sharing a good news story about local firefighters who are back back on South African land after almost a month fighting forest fires in Canada and really showcasing the might and the discipline of South African firefighters and showcasing that South Africa is parallel to international standards. With that, it's back to you in the studio.
Nozintombi Miya there at the OR Tambo International Airport a little earlier. Let's now cross back to the OR Tambo Airport where the firefighters have just landed.
So we're not used to being spoken to. We'll tell you that. So what I'm going to in fact ask is to invite Antoinette, who was our AREP, and our AREP is certainly the person who is responsible for managing operations in a particular area. So under Antoinette, Charlie, Delta and Echo fell under her. But this is an important interface between the incident commander and our teams. But we inserted ourselves so much into the incident command that they became part of the incident management team. So Antoinette started off at Cold Lake. The other AREP, in the case Pumda, started off at Loon Straits and then moved over to the Flin Flon area. So Antoinette will speak and then it will be followed up just by one of our firefighters to give us a bit of flavor what they feel about it. I should say, sorry, I did omit to say one thing, Your Excellency. We got tested in Canada, we got tested in Canada, and we got tested in Canada. So much so that we can administer the rapid antigen test now. Moreover, we got vaccinated. All of us are vaccinated from Canada. One went there fully vaccinated, but we've since returned fully vaccinated as well. So I don't know about this business, but anyway.
Good morning, everybody. As my name has been said, my name is Antoinette Ginny. I would like to take this opportunity and say thank you to the High Commissioner, the DDG, working on fire, EXCO members that are here, the whole team of the program in all over the country. Thank you for this opportunity. Briefly, what I will say in terms of the experience in Canada, first of all, the Canadians are loving people. That's one thing we have seen there. For me, I came in and I joined in the team at the Cold Lake. When we joined the team at the Cold Lake, I was received by different ICs. But I must acknowledge that all of them, they were all the same. And in terms of teaching us and welcoming us, you know, in some places where you talk about it, previously I was in Alberta 2019, but the environment this time around was very different because there was a lot to learn, there was a lot to teach, to exchange knowledge as the IT team, and also have some tasks to do as a AREP and the responsibilities as well. So we felt very welcomed with the incident management team that we worked with at Manitoba. The loving people of Cold Lake, they were so welcome, and we did excellently in everything that we do. I must acknowledge the fact that we went there we were camping, our teams were camping. The camping, when we reached Manitoba, Mr. Dave Kaffa said there's a refresher that you need to, because you will be staying in the forest. We went in and the crews went to stay in the forest. I say the training, the refresher that was done on our arrival came very handy to an extent that it was very effective, because you wake up on the fire line and then you go to your fire. So there's no delays of traveling for more than 2 hours to get to the fire, and you are already tired, and coming back to the fire again. So that we have learned a lot that we would like to share back home with our colleagues in terms of the operation. We have learned their fire behavior, and when you are talking about the DMC, you know the texture of and the moisture of the fuel that we have learned in terms of observations. We also have learned when you look where the ash pit is going to come out. It comes out, you can see, if you look at the soil, the ash pit, definitely the ash pit will go. We'll learn the spruce in terms of torturing, the trees that torturing. You see a green tree that is torturing, but we have learned a lot in the Canadian operations. When we arrived in Victoria Inn, Dave, the director, said, ladies, go out there and make us proud. We were not sure that are we going to do that and make him proud, because he took a decision to call South Africa. But thank you very much, because I believe with the fires that went on, Fire 38 and Fire 83, there were communities that are around there that because of our contribution and our determination, we managed to save jobs, because the economy was at risk because of the material, because they live in timber. So coming in and joining the forces and the objectives of the IC, we managed to save those lives, as we are having a vision as Working on Fire to be the best agent in terms of integrated fire management to save people's lives. So that I believe that the mission and the objective that we went for DGG in terms of the environmental management, I think as Working on Fire, this program this time around, we have achieved and we have accomplished. The relationship we have set there and the standards we have set in terms of our professionalism, how we dealt with certain things. And I think we have raised the flag of South Africa. I want to say to the Working on Fire management to say thank you for believing in us. This was not an easy task, but you trusted us, and I believe that we did you very well. Thank you for acknowledgement. Thank you to South Africa as a whole for giving us the opportunity and trust us to go and set and raise the flag of South Africa. I will end there. Thank you very much, Program Director.
Where's the firefighter?
Mokapi Maxim.
Good morning, everyone. I stand here thanking the provincial government of Manitoba, the Working on Fire program, and all the management. I stand there on behalf of the Working on Fire firefighters that were there in Canada. We say thank you for the experience that we had on how they fight fires that side. We got to see how they fight fires and how they do things. And I can say today that we gained experience more than we were expecting. And they definitely fight fires differently from us here in South Africa. And much we respected them, and they gave us respect too, because they believed in us as we believed in ourselves. We took pride and joy, and we showed them that as South Africans, we were proud to be there, and we achieved what we went there to achieve, is help out to extinguish the fires. I say thank you to everyone, and if in the upcoming years the opportunity would come again, we as the Working on Fire firefighters, we say we are rapidly available again to go and assist in the Canadian. Thank you.
You know, in August 2019, we had a rather auspicious occasion. We were on that day when we arrived back from Alberta. Your predecessor was serving her last day. She was a High Commissioner who had been actively involved in facilitating our visit. And I should say this time, we must also acknowledge your visa staff. They were absolutely stars in terms of facilitating, because with the COVID, we had cases to have to replace people that we had applied visas for. And they just came to the party, and we had absolutely no problem on the visa front. So thank you for that. So that was her last day of service when we arrived back from Alberta. But it was also the first day that the newly appointed Minister of Forest, well, that time it was still Environment Affairs, Alvin. The first time she got into contact with the program. So it was quite an interesting welcome back from someone who was going home back to Canada, to Alberta, by the way, and someone who had come in as the new minister and was still finding her feet in terms of all the programs that the department had met us. Now we're 2 years later, and we're welcoming a new DDG who has not yet interacted with the program. She interacted with me. We had all kinds of strange phone calls at different times of night about it. But this is the first time, DDG, that you're actually seeing the WAF program. Am I correct? No, you've seen it before. Sorry. But in my presence, the first time I'm happy to invite the DDG to address you. And this is, if you like, some of the kind of outputs that we as a program have achieved. DDG, over to you.
Phambili working on fire program, Phambili. Phambili working on fire program, Phambili. Phambili South Africa, Phambili. Siyabonga. I greet you and welcome you back. And as I start with my input, I acknowledge the presence of His Excellency, Mr. Christopher Kuta. We also greet the Working on Fire Management, the EXCO, and welcome also to the colleagues from the department. But more importantly, Sanbonani. Sanbonani. Sanbonani bo. Siyabonga. Dumela. Mina ngumZulu, so ngiyazama kwezinto. Mankalane, I would just like to express an apology of our minister. She really wanted to be here to welcome you, but unfortunately she could not. She is attending a meeting with the African Ministers on Environment. So, but she wanted me to say to you that we appreciate what you've done. We are very proud of you. And we look forward to continuing with this program with your support. To His Excellency, we would like to thank you, the Government of Canada, for this opportunity and the relationship that we have with you, for having trust in us and calling on us. And we believe that you called on us because of prior experience, the way in which you've serviced this relationship, the manner in which we conduct ourselves, as Antoinette said, the professionalism. We're very proud of you. Siyajabula kakhulu. And also, I don't want to repeat what the MD had said earlier, but I mean, we are very concerned about climate change and the impacts thereof, the increased risks of wildfires, and we'll continue to make efforts and work with like-minded partners in terms of making sure that we make meaningful contributions in that regard. So I don't want to delay you. I mean, you've been on a long flight, but from our side, siyabonga. Niqhubeke nisiphathe kahle, niqhubeke nenze kahle njengoba nenzile. I could have done it in Sesotho, but I don't want to. Thank you.
You have to forgive me. I have to do the right thing. Thank you for your message, DGG. We're almost getting towards the end of our program, and I would like to call on our Executive for Human Resources, Mr. Mbura Namadzebanani, and he will deliver the vote of thanks for us. Thank you.
Thanks, Program Director. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Are you well? Yes. I'm excited to be at this event. To our esteemed guests of attendance, word of welcome for showing the support to our 109 firefighters and management that are with us today. I would like to thank the Deputy Director General, Ms. Nozintombi Miya, from the environmental program, which is the portfolio under which the Working on Fire program resides.
A very jubilant team of firefighters that have just landed in South Africa from fighting the fires in Manitoba, in the province of Manitoba in Canada. It was actually so heartwarming, seeing a video of them dancing and singing in the hotel parking lot shortly before takeoff from Canada. These are just live visuals coming from the OR Tambo International Airport, where they've just landed a short while ago. And